Dude.
Hey.
Hi.
Did you get Damien's number?
I didn't yet. My brother.
I guess I'm
My
kind of.
brother said he didn't have it, but I know he does. When I go look on his phone, I know what's on there, because unless he erased the numbers I dialed to.
So I'm kind of confused because you got those screenshots. How did you get these screenshots?
I got those screenshots the last time I met up with Damien. Probably when this all came about, like Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, so did you just take them on the phone, or did he send them to you?
I took them.
Like with that phone, you took a picture? Can I see this picture, the picture again? Sorry, I just want to see. That's that's not a picture of a phone. That's an actual screen, that's someone sending you a screenshot.
Oh, yeah, Damien took the screenshots and then I took the picture. Yeah, I lined it up right. Yeah.
No, it's perfect. This looks just like someone sent you a screenshot.
Yeah, I don't think the only text that Damien was sending me is how stupid I am and
Can I see those?
how I erased him since then because he's my ex-fiance. I mean, it was kind of negativity at the time and just getting to me more. So that's why. But.
So Trent, can we have kind of a tough conversation?
Sure.
Some of the stuff you're talking about is pretty hard to believe. And we're getting to the point where we're wondering if you're wasting our time.
Oh. I mean, is there a question or, I don't know how you want me to respond to that. I don't know what else you want me to.
These are the challenges that we have, right? You told us that you watched the video over and over, okay? So we know that you're aware of everything that's out there. And all you talked about are things that anyone else knows. You haven't brought forth any information. You're having sex with a guy in his car and you don't know anything about him other than what the public knows about him, okay? You took $60 from him. Your self-admitted booty call. And so now we're wondering if you're a hooker who maybe blew a guy who was a murderer and maybe feels guilty about it, or maybe feels like you're going to get in trouble about it. I don't know what's going on with you, but I don't know why you're here tonight.
No, I'm not a hooker.
Why are you here tonight?
I've had it because she asked me to be here.
No. Back up. The calls between you and Damien and your friends who are blackmailing you, what's that about?
I don't know that it was Damien.
You told us it was maybe some friends who told Damien, and Damien knows about this. How does Damien connect the dots between you and Chris?
Because I opened up to Damien back then about it when I thought that...
And now you can't find his phone number.
Well, I had cut every...
Stop, just stop.
You see how that kind of doesn't make sense, Trent?
Yeah, I see how it doesn't make sense, but I didn't ever think in this situation that I would have to recall every little detail. I'm not a hooker.
You're not recalling any details, Trent.
I'm not.
So that's why we're talking to you, because a lot of it doesn't make sense, because like we said, a lot of it is stuff that everyone else knows. If you took 5 minutes and looked through Shannan's Facebook page, like you said you have, I could learn 90% about it.
I didn't say I looked at Shannan's Facebook page. I said I saw one of her videos. I never said I looked at her Facebook page.
Okay, well,
You're
most of
on
her
national TV, and you're going to be on national TV again according to CNN, okay? So let me back up, because you can tell I'm getting a little bit angry, right? So before I get angry, how about we start over and I'll say this. Now is the time to pull out of all of this, okay? Because you are about to get pulled into a nightmare by the national media.
I already have. I already have been. I was hoping you guys...
No. You walked into that. You haven't been pulled yet, okay? I just can't figure out why you're doing all this. Why you're lying to us. Why you're here.
I guess you can have... yeah, you're free to have your opinion, your assumptions, but...
I don't want my opinion. I want the truth. What's happening? Why are you here? What do you want out of all of this?
I don't want anything.
Then why are you going on TV?
All of this. I was scared that someone else was going to put it out there. I didn't want anyone else's narrative on it except for my own. That's it. I probably acted foolishly. I'm probably...
Well, Trent, I'll be honest with you. When someone says, when we say, how sure are you that it's really Chris? You say 99%. Why would you not say 100%? Like, I had sex with the guy. That's the guy. Like, there's no question about it. Like, why would you even give us a 1% chance that it wasn't?
That's just kind of...
No, that's weird. Most people that know for sure that that's that person, that's had a relationship with that person for months and months and months, would say, that's the guy. You have to think about it. It's not 99%, it's 100. Like, that's the guy. Do you see, like, we pick up on little clues like that don't make sense to us?
But I didn't mean it like, I was just using that because, I guess people use that as a term. I'm 99.999% sure, maybe that's why I used it.
Do you think that there's a chance that, obviously you were in a horrible relationship before, you have PTSD, you talked about, having children in other relationships that, you now can't see and things like that. Do you think there's any chance that maybe you were kind of reliving some of those relationships from the past that, kind of made you, when you see Chris's on the TV, it kind of was like, brought some stuff back?
No, because my husband that passed away wasn't accused of murder.
I know, but you have a relationship with someone that had children, that kind of stuff. So, you've seen him on the news and his girls, and do you think that happens to people sometimes?
No.
They can kind of put their own story on things that they see on TV and then kind of make it their own. Like, oh yeah, I was there too, or that was part of me, or...
No. I wasn't in a situation like that.
Are you worried about something that maybe could have been illegal with regard to paying for sex, with regard to, indecent exposure, with regard to anything like that? Is there anything? Because I got to be honest with you. I'm an FBI agent. She's a CBI agent. That's not stuff we care about. We just don't. We don't care about any of that. So if that's maybe what's happening, that's fine. Let's get it out today. Let's move past it. You'll never have to deal with us again, but let's just figure that out, okay?
If you gave me money for sex?
Yeah.
Not every time.
Okay.
But yeah, the $60 and... There's another time there was 100.
Mm-hmm.
There's another time that's 250.
Mm-hmm. You're doing very good. Okay. You can imagine we know quite a bit about Chris that we're not telling you we know about. Okay? We've gone through his...
Have you guys talked to him? Did you guys tell you this?
We've talked to him.
He told you this?
He told us everything, so it's time to get it out.
He told you that he hired a male escort. Pretty much. In short.
Yeah. So you can see why we were a little bit angry earlier when you weren't telling us the truth. So how about this? Let's take a big breath.
I don't want
and get it out.
The media out there having my name with a prostitute next to it.
Well, we don't either, but we gotta get down to the truth too. So why don't you do what he says, take a deep breath, and maybe start over.
All the timeline. I was telling the truth about all the timeline. Chris asked me about, I mean, things did happen the first time we got together. He did offer me money, and
First time.
I took it.
Okay, good. This is very good. You're doing much better. Would it be helpful? I think maybe it would be helpful if we ask questions and then you can just tell us the truth. Because I can see it in your eyes and in your chest. It's maybe hard to talk about. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Can we just ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how did he find you on Meetme?
It has Meetme has a thing about it to where you can see people's distance. So say you want to filter people out, say looking for men near you, looking for LGBT men near you.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's how. I don't know, he never told me.
Okay. So then your profile was, open and willing to meeting people, part of the LGBTQ community, gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he, it sounds like, was experimental, looking for someone maybe to kind of show him the ropes. Is that fair? Okay. Also maybe looking for an uncomplicated money transaction, sex, and get out. Is that accurate? Okay, and don't let me put words in your mouth. Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the first time you guys meet, does he find you or do you find him?
He finds me.
Okay. You sure about that? And keeping in mind that we have his phone and know the answer, are you pretty sure that he found you?
He sought me out originally, but there was a time where I thought he was going to bail out, so.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So then that first time he meets you, what was the time frame again?
Right before July 4th.
Okay. And 2017. Okay. He finds you, you guys meet, money and sex. Is that right? Okay. How much money?
That was the time, it was $250.
Oh, okay. First time, $250. Sex was oral sex? Okay. You perform on him? Does he perform on you?
Yes, but not the climax.
Okay. And then tell me about the negotiation. How does that work?
He tried giving me $30 and
Jeez, Trent, just go cheap on you.
yeah, and I said no. It's not how this is going to work. And then the next thing he handed me was $250.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All 20s and 10.
Okay. You're pretty sure it was $250 and it was cash. Okay. Was there anything about the pre-meeting where he knew he needed to bring money?
Yeah, it was insinuated.
Okay. And how was that?
I put out there half jokingly that I don't do anything for free with someone that I don't know from a hole in the ground.
Okay. Good. This is perfect. I got to tell you, I can tell the difference between when you're telling the truth and we're getting it out and about an hour ago when we were kind of struggling. Okay. Is it fair to say that you'd rather not give us Damien's phone number?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it fair to say that it's on that phone? On your phone, or somehow you know Damien's phone number?
I really did erase the text and everything because I'm currently seeing a guy and just trying to change everything. And Damien was part of a pretty toxic, hard part of my life.
Okay. And by the way, I'm really sorry about that. That's not good at all.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm glad you're out of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, how many meetings would you say in total there were between you and
Where
Rourke?
money was exchanged?
Yes, where money was exchanged.
4.
4? You pretty sure about that? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all right. I mean,
4.
Was it
4 or 5?
Was it 20 or was it 4?
It's 4 or 5.
Okay. Again, keep in mind, we know quite a bit. We know his phone. 4 or 5. Okay. So that was money times, and each time was it sex, oral sex, all that? Was it all of the above every time?
No, there was one time when he got He gave me the time he gave me 160. He gave it to me up front, and when we got in my back seat, he just got really aggressive, and there was no oral sex or anything. I just went to intercourse.
Okay. It's important for us to kind of get some of those details, and I'm sure it's uncomfortable to talk about. Was it him having sex with you, or you having sex with him?
Yes.
Okay.
It was him having sex with me.
Him having sex with you. Okay. Okay, so then 4 or 5 times, how many times did you guys meet total, even if money wasn't exchanged?
Probably 10.
10 times?
10 to 12.
Okay, and then so those 5 to 7 times when you're not exchanging money, what was going on?
He really did talk to me about struggling with his sexuality and stuff, so that was usually what it was.
Okay. So then it sounds like he really is at least bi or maybe even gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there talks about him struggling with being in a heterosexual marriage? What did he say?
After I found out, he told me that he was the victim of emotional and verbal abuse, and she treated him like he was stupid. And
Did you believe him?
at the time, yeah, I did.
What about now?
No.
Because he murdered her, or why?
Because he lied to hundreds of millions of people on live TV.
Yeah, okay. Good. So you got good instincts because you picked up on that, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. It seems like you have pretty good instincts for people. Earlier when you said that, I was like, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You really do, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to.
Yeah.
After this situation.
Well, believe me, he fooled everyone. So, I mean, this is just...
nobody that suspected anything.
Right.
Because I honestly, like I said before this, I would have told you he was a dirty, nice, kind-hearted guy.
Right. Who didn't know how to come out, didn't know how to end his marriage, maybe was afraid or ashamed or whatever. Okay. So then, those 5 or 7 times or whatever it was where you met him without money, why? Why go and talk to him?
Because I was empathetic. I can't say that, and excuse me if I'm mixing these words up, I can't say that I was sympathetic because I was outed when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of got thrown to the wolves then. And I didn't really know what it was like to live in the closet or anything, because I was...
So when you were talking about that part, that was all true. What happened? Did you confide in someone and then they told everyone?
This isn't the first time I've been a part of an investigation. I testified against 2 men for child trafficking and child solicitation.
I'm sorry to hear that. Were you involved as part of being trafficked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They got a warrant for their hard drive, and this was 2 years ago, but on their hard drive they had stuff saved from 2004 and 2003, which would make, at the time, I was 14, 15, in Wyoming, there's no, I can't remember the term.
There's no statute.
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on that. So they found the hard drive with webcam videos of me, and it had my initials, and it's had 10 and 89 on it. So the detectives in Laramie County and Richland County figured it out. They reached out to me because without my testimony, with just the 2 other minors' testimony that they got caught with, they would have only got 3 to 5. And with my testimony, one went away for 35 years and the other one went away for 42, with possibility for parole after 15.
What were their names?
Robert Martinez and Harvey DeSalms.
How do you spell that?
DeSelms is DESELMS.
And that was all in Weld, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that,
Yeah,
man.
that's...
And I'm not just saying that, I really am. Tammy and I work this stuff, and we know it just happens, and people don't believe it happens, but it does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's why, yeah. That night we watched that documentary was the first time me and Chris had ever hung out. As far as money exchange,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to say it was genuine, but
Like a date kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I would call it a date, but yeah, I mean, there was nothing happened and no money exchanged, and then, yeah, we still haven't watched that. So,
Did you care for him?
yeah, to a certain extent. He had this childlike innocence about him, as far because, like I said, I came out when I was 13. I started dancing at Boys Town in Denver when I started college when I was 17. I have been exposed to this lifestyle for a long time.
Sure.
I've had my promiscuous phases, and he just seemed like he was yearning for, hopefully not that lifestyle, but just yearning for some, I don't know.
He was kind of like seeking his truth, right? He wanted to tell the truth. He was trapped.
Yeah,
And didn't he even say something like, I was trapped? Didn't you tell us he said, I'm trapped?
yeah.
So now that we're in, a little bit more of talking openly, what do you think he meant when he said he was trapped?
Probably was trapped in, as far as his marriage, Shannan, and having Bella and Celeste, and then, I don't know, was the new baby, but...
Do you think he was trapped in the closet?
Oh yeah, I think he meant it that way, but he meant it in other ways too.
Sure.
I think he meant it just altogether in life. He felt trapped in the closet. He felt trapped in his marriage. He felt trapped to that town.
Trapped everywhere, right?
Yeah, he told me he hated Frederick. And
Yeah, when I talked to him, he didn't seem like an oil worker.
yeah, he seemed, yeah, I know what you mean.
He seemed caring and ethereal and thoughtful, and I can see some of the innocence you were talking about, right? So I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem like he was destined to be in dirty boots and with a wrench.
Right.
And you probably picked up on that. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, you're a good judge of character. So then, a total of how many times again was it? For all meetings? With or without sex, with or without money, just everything included, how many times do you think? And it's okay to guesstimate. I'm not going to get mad if you're wrong.
12.
What, 12 times?
12, 14 probably.
Okay. During that time, do you think he was trying to start a relationship with you?
Not at first, but after.
Okay.
Yeah. After a while, I think he didn't know how to reach out to any other gay male.
I get that. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. He didn't have exposure in his youth. Now he's almost 40, or like, how old is he? 40?
33.
33? Oh, is he 33? He's got that salt and pepper hair that makes him look older.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. He just thought, here's a caring, sympathetic guy. Please don't take offense. I would say that you're kind of a warm, gentle person.
Right.
And he probably thought, I can tell this guy anything.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree, because I know I'm the type of person to where I bring that out in people.
Yeah. I feel like I want to tell you everything. You got that personality. Okay.
So one way, Trent, that we can, obviously vet people out and just make sure that, vet people out from the truth tellers to the people that are trying to lie to us and things like that. One way we can do that is to offer people a polygraph. Is that something you'd be willing to do? Not today, obviously, but was that something that you'd be willing to do?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, with generalized anxiety disorder,
That doesn't
I
matter.
need to take like one of my alprazolam beforehand or something.
No, we wouldn't want you to take medicine that you don't have to take. I mean, if you're prescribed it and you take it every day, you know, at 9 o'clock or whatever, like obviously those medications we want you
I
to take.
prescribed it, but
Even if it's just like
my
you just
anxiety is PRN as needed.
right. Because anxiety is not going to cause you an issue on a polygraph.
Okay.
So is that something that you'd be willing to take?
Possibly.
Okay.
So, in anticipation of that, it might not even be that we need to take a polygraph. Do you feel like tonight we've talked about, in kind of the second round when we came back in, have we talked about all the things that are kind of uncomfortable to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about money for sex, how you guys met, the amount of times you guys met. We talked a little bit more about Chris. So I believe you now. I can see a little bit of weight's been lifted. So I believe what you're saying. Has everything been true?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the little girls? Did you actually meet them? Okay. Was all of that true about being cute and melting your heart? That's true? Okay. You actually met them? All right. Was the pacifier conversation true? Okay. And if it's not, that's fine. Let's just make sure that we know. Okay.
So yeah, all of that was true.
What do you make of the fact that he introduced you to his family at one point?
I feel like he was trying to get me to look at him more as not feel bad for him, but just kind of. So I mentioned to him multiple times, maybe 2 or 3, that I hate the fact that gay guys can't get pregnant because I have baby fever and have kids and stuff like that. So I think that it was planned that he wanted me to meet his girl.
Oh, okay.
In a way for me to feel a certain way about him.
Do you think he cared for you?
Not at the beginning, but towards the end, yeah.
It seems like he got there, huh? Because if it's just about sex and just about money, then it's quick and you get out of there, and all you do is maybe negotiate for a cheaper fee, and that's it. But it sounds like he's inviting you in.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how it went. I mean, he got warmer and warmer and started saying more and more as time went on.
Did he ever talk about divorce with Shannan?
Yeah. He told me that he had to at one point, or he'd end up going crazy. Something along those lines. I don't know if he flat out said, I'll end up going crazy or end up driving himself nuts.
Okay, tell me more about that. What did he say? What do you mean? Did he actually say, I'm going to go crazy, I'm going to go nuts? Or what did he say?
I had made a comment kind of grilling him about lying to me. About having what? About having a wife.
Oh, okay.
He said something, believe me, if I could change, and if I could go back in time, I would. I'm miserable, like I said, it's the same thing. I'm miserable. She treats me like I'm stupid. I get yelled at all the time. And, yeah, I need to find a way out. Pretty much.
Okay.
I told him, I said, well, if you're bisexual, you need to come out and tell her that and see how she reacts and see, whatever. But if you're gay, you really need to come out and tell her that.
Yeah, you told him that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the situation's just going to blow up if not.
Yeah.
Do you think he felt like he was more bisexual or gay?
He told me that he could have sex with his wife. Told me that at that time I was the only one he was attracted. I, as a male, was the only one he was attracted to. And I asked him, well, what about people that come, later in your life? And he said, I don't know about that. I just nobody currently know. And I said, I don't have a sex life with my wife that I've been married to for 2-3 years. And I have to seek it out elsewhere. So.
Have you seen on the news, I'm sure, about them talking about him possibly having a girlfriend? Have you seen that on the news? Do you think that's weird? That he would go from a relationship with you to a girl?
Yeah, I honestly figured that it was going to come out that I thought that it was going to come out that whoever he was having a relationship with at work, whether, I don't know if that's true or not, I thought it was going to be a male. I was 100%.
Oh,
It's going to be a male.
interesting. Is that what you thought?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's kind of what it said in that, was it a Facebook post?
Okay.
Your Facebook? Did you post on Facebook?
Yeah, because people started tagging me.
Okay. I think it said something along the lines of, I might not be the only man or something like that. Is that what it said?
Yeah, so someone commented on Twitter and made a comment about, and it wasn't on my Twitter, I've set everything to private for social media. Someone made a comment about it possibly being a male and blah, 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 but they were being very ignorant about it. They were being, just very ignorant about it. And I commented and I said, something like, would it be that crazy that it's a male and not a female?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2018.
Right.
And there's same-sex relationships all over now.
Mm-hmm. What did they say?
I think after that I just blocked him.
Do you mind if we go through this together?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So let's go through it. Hard for my old eyes to read it a little bit, but okay. So do you mind just reading that and we'll go through sentence by sentence?
So I wanted to get on here because I've been getting Facebook messages and phone calls.
And is that true?
The phone calls, though, didn't come straight through my phone. They came through Messenger.
Like Facebook Messenger?
Mm-hmm.
And were they people you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just people who are, friends and followers?
Producers?
I don't even, producers, everybody.
How did they figure out it was you?
I have no idea.
Because his post, they can go to his Facebook page. And
I got calls and stuff before this post.
Oh, you did?
And that's why I'm assuming, one of my friends that I confided in maybe told someone.
Oh.
But,
so that part's true. People reached out to you through Facebook, but onto your phone. And that really did happen. People really were, accusing you, claiming you somehow knew it was you.
Yes.
Okay.
But it got much more prevalent after this.
So, and I know, I don't want to keep you on line.
Just here alone, I've blocked it, but all the requests. Oh, maybe I erased Messenger.
Okay.
But, just even on Twitter alone, the people,
do you have it public?
No.
Oh, okay.
I made it all private and all that, but, see if my Messenger pops up. I'm my phone. Yeah.
Let's just keep going through this. All right. So, and do you mind if I ask? I don't anticipate that we're going to have to talk to these people, but who did you confide in?
I confided in my mother.
Okay.
Which I know wasn't her.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I confided in my friend Kehlani from Casper.
Is that a male or a female?
A female.
Okay.
And I confided in Patrick, the guy I'm currently hanging out with and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patrick obviously told his mother, which is how I think.
That's probably exactly what caught up. Yeah, I think you're right. Going back to your good instincts, that's probably exactly what happened. Okay.
Yeah, because Patrick's mom is
Is she not a fan of his lifestyle?
No, not necessarily. She's accepting, but she's not supportive.
Okay.
Just like I would say that about my dad. He's accepting, but he's not supportive.
Sure. Okay. Okay, sorry, let's keep reading here.
Okay. Been getting messages and phone calls from people asking me how I knew Chris, why I had relations with a married man, people trying to blackmail me with threatening to expose me.
Is that true? What do people say?
People brought up the male escort thing.
Okay. All right.
So that's the exposing, is the fact that...
I'm an adulterer, but I'm not. I'm married.
People are still going to shame you about that. Even
What's the next one?
When I first got the call from authorities, which I thought was authorities, but it wasn't. It was just someone being real clever. And I should have known right then. I mean, it's fucking stupid.
No.
Call on Facebook Messenger. I mean,
no.
Because I've been waiting for a call, pretty much. And I knew it was coming, so. But.
What was the second part of that sentence, though?
Due to messages on the app he had on his phone.
Yeah, why did you say that?
That's something that I just put in there because I assume that's what the girl, I can't even remember her name because I erased that messenger, but that's what the girl told me was that messages were found on the app on his phone. And she said it was Grindr, and that's when I was like, Grindr? Was that Meetme one Grindr?
And this is the girl that's pretending to be law enforcement? That's, or at least a female voice that we think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The last thing I wanted was my name out there, but after all this, I'd rather me tell my side rather than someone else. I met Chris last summer. We had relations off and on last June up until March or April. I found out he was married with kids in February. I didn't know that when we first met.
Just the timing, is that true? So you first met him in June. Is that true that in February is when you kind of found out he was married? And is it also because of Sylvester Bella's comment about, I want to sleep with you and mommy? Mm-hmm. Is that all was true?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know that when we first met. Yes, things happened one more time, then I ended it. And this witch hunt trying to find his mistress and all the men and women he slept with is effing ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we're guilty of is trusting a stranger. Instead,
Can you pause right there for 1 second?
Yeah.
So then does that go back to when you said, I think that there's, when you said, I thought when we found out there was a mistress, there was going to be a man. Mm-hmm. Is that what you thought? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying right there?
Yeah, in one way or another, I just said whether, as far as the witch hunt, whether it be a man or a female or whatever, nobody deserves it.
Okay.
And the only thing we're guilty of is trusting a stranger. And yeah, I assumed that whoever he worked with, whoever he was sleeping with was a male.
Okay.
I can only speak for myself, but before this, I would have 100% told you that Chris isn't a murderer nor a sociopath. He told me he was the victim of an emotional and mental abuse and was stuck in a loveless marriage, but was so scared to leave because of Bella and Celeste. I can totally understand why anyone who had sexual relations with Christopher would want to stay out of the public eye. Since I got the call and told what happened, I haven't spent more than an hour or two to blast you at a time at night. But like I said, the only thing I'm guilty of is trusting someone who seems so kind-hearted and genuine, but I guess it's a life lesson. I'll always have to live with the fact that I had a relationship with a married man who may also be a murderer and a sociopath. So the people messaging me on Facebook, Twitter, etc., threatening to expose me, I guess you can do it now. I had nothing else to hide. I just wanted to put it out there before someone else leaked my name. I'm sure there were multiple women and or men, and I'm sure there were multiple women, and I'm probably not the only man he slept with. But the whole thing is that none of the people that he slept with owe the public anything. So all these hashtag must just come forward posts are fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what I'm going through, let alone anyone else he slept with. So let's focus on getting to the bottom of what happened between the people involved with the crime and only them. Mm-hmm. And then in parentheses I put or him. I'm not up for any criminal charges, neither are any of the others.
Okay. I think it's well said.
Yeah.
I think you're right. You didn't do anything here that you're being charged of. The investigation really needs to focus on him and who was involved.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I can understand people want to look into it and to try to understand why he did it. But you're going to find an answer in me. And maybe I can give help with certain tools.
I agree.
I don't have the answers.
Okay.
I just didn't want it out there. I am a nurse, and I didn't want it out there to male escort next to my name.
Okay.
Because I would have lost my job.
Yeah.
And the charge nurse, yeah.
Okay.
I've been at this for a while, so I would lose at least the pretty much what I've worked for since I've gotten my LPN.
Yeah, your livelihood, everything you worked for, yeah. I get it. So I think you did the smart thing tonight in coming here and coming to a police station, verifying our credentials, making sure we are who we say we are.
Right.
We can't give you any advice on what to do going forward, but you can probably see where there's some value in verifying who you're talking to.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would also say, again, I can't tell you who to talk to and who not to talk to, but I think that Tammy and I have this investigation and your interests in mind, and other people might not.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can tell you right now, it's pretty sexy and salacious and interesting for anyone to say, Chris Watts is not only a murderer, but he hired male prostitutes, right? That's a story that really sells.
Yeah.
So we're going to do whatever we can do to make sure that doesn't get out, and it might do you a lot of good to do the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't plan on having that out. I mean, if it comes out, then I can do, but...
If you give people, to include the media, more reason to look into you, and if you give them more opportunities to talk to you, they're good investigators. They're better than we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
They really find you guys.
I realize that.
Yeah. We get leads from them all the time because they're better than us, faster than us, right?
Yeah, I had the Today Show calling me on my way here, and
what are you going to do if they call again?
I already erased it. And
okay. Again, it's up to you.
Are you going on CNN?
As of now, I'm being dragged through the mud, and half people are dragging me through the mud, and the other half are saying, hashtag I stand with Trent and shit like that, and I just can't imagine what Shannan's family is going through, of people sitting there saying, when I knew Chris, I knew the way he moved, I knew what type of person he was. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what happened that night, so for people to sit there and say that Shannan really did kill the girls and stuff, it's just terrible.
What do you mean by that?
People on social media, I mean, even messages I got from Messenger, people saying, I didn't open them because, I don't know if you guys have Messenger, but there's requests that come through, and you can read the first half of the message without accepting a request if they're not your friend.
Oh.
And there's a lot of people on Facebook and a lot of people on Twitter sitting there. I mean, like I said, half of them are dragging my name through the mud, and the other half are sitting there putting their own narrative on the story, saying they knew that Shannan was emotionally and verbally abusive or whatever, and I knew the man and I didn't even know that. So it's just, I can't imagine what her family's going through, having to read that about their deceased daughter.
You're right. What's your take on, are you aware of what Chris has said happened? And what's your understanding of what he said happened?
But they talked that night and talked about getting a divorce, and that Shannan killed Bella and Celeste, and he pretty much broke out in a rage, therefore killing Shannan.
What do you think about that?
Big bullshit.
Why?
The guy is just lied to me so much. Why would I believe this?
Yeah.
He got on the news, and in a roundabout way, I can't remember what exactly he said, because like I said, I can't really watch those videos, but in a roundabout way, he said, pretty much like, oh, if someone out there has him, you'll be sorry, something like that. And then 24 hours for his neighbors to call investigators and say this dude hasn't cried. This guy, I mean, isn't doing anything to, it just doesn't add up for me, but that's my own personal opinion. I don't know anything for that.
Is there anything about your relationship with him where you think, oh, well, naturally, obviously, he was this way with me, so of course he's this type of person when he killed the girls and Shannan?
There was one or two times he got really aggressive with me sexually.
Tell me about it.
He pretty much, and this was when he put on that muscle and that tone, but in my backseat, he pretty much pushed my face on the seat and just kind of went to town while I was still saying, ow, and slow down, and
That was the time you said there was no oral or anything like that?
and I mean, it was clear how, it was just really aggressive, and it was clear that I wasn't overreacting, because, I mean, there was literally, I mean, like I said, I don't mean to be graphic, but there was literally, and it just kept getting louder, and I kept saying, ow. But, that's the only thing that's what stuck out in my mind. Okay. About him being kicked.
You said that happened a couple times, right? What was the other two?
The other time he put his hands around my throat, and there were twice I had to kind of break that, put that right there, because he was just not squeezing so hard, but putting so much pressure down, like on my voice box here. So
To explain that, I don't know what position you're in, but he's doing that.
And it's okay. I mean, we're talking about sex, we're talking about everything, so don't worry about being graphic for us.
my legs on his shoulders, and kind of missionary, pretty much missionary, and him pretty much being over me, and kind of like,
Where was that?
That was at Weld and TJ's.
Oh, was that the first time?
Yeah, that happened before the car incident happened.
I'm sorry because these details are important. So the very first time was $250 where?
Where I was staying in Weld.
At TJ's, on TJ's? And is this the same time that he was rubbing on your neck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But after I kind of, because when you're putting pressure, you can push right here and it'll break it. after I wrote that twice, and he did it again, I told him, I said, that's not a good feeling. You're hurting me. And he didn't do it after that, for that night. Anyway.
What about the other time?
The other time he didn't listen to me.
What happened?
He just put his, I think, right hand. Yeah, it would have been his right hand because he was hanging on to my car. Yeah, he put his right hand on my face and just pushed down harder. Or my face kept going into the seat.
Are you talking about your head or your face or
My
what?
face.
He was behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doggy style.
Okay.
And I wasn't up like this. My back was arched.
Okay. Can we clear up another thing? You were talking at one point about a tattoo that he had right here. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
He did have a tattoo right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the only reason I ask is I'm not aware that he has that tattoo. So is it possible that that's a mistake or someone else, or did that actually happen? You guys talked about a tattoo on his arm.
Yeah, I said something about it being cheesy or something.
Okay. And where was it again on his body?
It was somewhere in this area.
Oh, could it have been up here?
Yeah.
But could it have been down here too?
I know it was higher on his arm than lower.
Oh, it was higher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you kept pointing at your forearm before.
Yeah, sorry, I just meant like this area because that's where my tattoo starts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know, it's okay. Just say, I don't know, or I don't remember. Do you remember where it was on his arm?
Not exactly, but
Okay.
it was, yeah, I would, trying to remember, I think it was anywhere from this to this area.
Okay, so maybe between shoulder and elbow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you talked about it kind of being something that pulled all of his other tattoos together, or maybe had to do with his family. Tell me that again.
He didn't really go into detail, but he just said it ties into all my other tattoos. I asked him how so, and he explained the tribal tattoo to me, but he never, one of us got distracted or something, and he never went into about that.
Okay. On the times where you guys were together and there was no sex and no payment, was it clear to you that it would just be a chat that night?
No.
Did you think that there would be sex?
Yeah.
Every time?
I knew that that's what he was expecting. You know?
Oh, okay.
And there were times I purposely deterred it.
Oh, just wasn't in the mood, what?
Yeah, I just felt used. There were times where I felt used, and there were times where he made me feel good about myself.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Did he ever give you any presents or anything?
besides cash. He bought me skincare. Like, he bought me, because I'm really anal about skincare and stuff like that. He got me Sunday Riley Luna oil, which is a retinol. That's like a $7 bottle of kind of bougie skincare.
When did he get you that?
When we were parked it, when we went to Ulta that time.
Did he go into Ulta and buy it?
I'm assuming because he had it when he got into his truck. Because when there was...
I thought they were building Ulta when you were over there.
No, I think they just got that building yet. Because I remember all through the last summer it was building. But he might not have got it there either. I just remember him asking what I was doing. But I don't know if it was the time before that, or it was one of the times that he was parked outside of the apartments on Ronald Reagan, and he asked me what I was doing because I had toner on a cotton pad and I was cleaning my face. And then I had some type of glycolic acid or something in one hand, not the bottle, but in one hand, so I could finish with the toner and then just rub that in. And he asked me what that was all about. And then he's like, "Oh, is that why you have such good skin?" And blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know, I like to think so. And then he asked me about stuff like that because he knew that I have like lip filler and lip injections, so he'd ask me about stuff like that and kind of esthetician like questions. And then I had brought up the Sunday Riley living oil stuff.
That's how he knew.
Yeah, and he said, "Let me see a picture." And I was like, "I don't know, I just can't justify spending $90 on a bottle this big." And then the next time he had that for me. But besides that, I don't know, I guess there's just funny.
So you guys worked together 12, 15 times. It seems like there was a lot of range of conversations, real depth to conversations, his marriage, your life, all the way from the deep, deep stuff to this is the type of lotion that I like. Are you sure there was only 12, 15 times that you guys met?
Yeah, I don't think there's no way to be able to.
Okay.
Can I ask you real quick if you know a couple people? And if you don't, that's totally fine. I just want to ask you if you know these people. I really myself all the time. Do you know Michael Kelly? No. Do you know Jonathan Richards? No? Okay. No, it's not good or bad or whatever. I just want to make sure see if that was part of like your circle of people that you knew or anything like that.
No, my brother did go on social media because I was having an issue with the stalker when I worked at Wyoming Medical Center. And I can't even bring that. I know that it wasn't Chris because I was dealing with text and stuff from this person when I was with Chris. But my brother has schizoaffective disorder and stuff like that. So, yeah, I didn't read it, but my mom had just told me that, your brother's online sitting here saying this and this, and I messaged them and I said, stay out of anything that's not their business. There's just no way to get through to him. He's like I said, he got schizoaffective disorder. He gets Social Security. He's going to have to live with my parents for the rest of their lives. So anything he comments on or anything like that is false.
What about, who were the people in your life that Chris met?
I think Will only saw him in passing, and they shook hands real quick, and that's about it. There was more than one time I invited him over with other people there, and he was very adamant about not wanting to be around people.
Oh, so that was true. He was ill at ease, or I guess just ill with the idea of meeting people. Yeah. So you never met both Will and TJ together, never at a party or in a hot tub or in a, nothing like that.
No.
Would Will and TJ recognize him in the lineup?
Probably not. Will was the one that met him, but Will, at the time that I broke off, like, any contact with Will, he was abusing. I had met him through a pain management support group, and he was abusing his medication and all that, so.
How much do they know about this investigation and Chris and you?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to either of them.
Okay. All right.
So what about Damien? How do we can you give us his number?
I really erased it. I mean, I could get back to you and give it to you, but when I met Patrick, I just kind of wanted to start anew. just get rid of all the negativity.
So does Damien really have your old phone that would have had all these messages from Chris? Statement?
Yeah, he...
Like, is that a truth statement?
Or in other words, how did you get those? You showed us. How did you really get them?
Like, Damien had known that I don't know how he figured it out, but Damien had known that me and Chris wasn't like some guy that I started dating. He had known that there was money for sex. And he said he saved them for my safety, but I don't know if there's any truth to that, or saved them for me.
So he really did have them, and that's how you really did get them? Okay.
Yeah, he messaged me and he said, when Chris first reached out to you and how the conversation goes on, and those were the first 2 messages that I had ever got via text.
Okay.
From Chris.
All right. You can imagine how that's very important for us to get that phone. So how do we get it without... And
I don't know if it's the same exact phone. Okay. I don't know if he upgraded it.
Okay.
I know that he switched to straight talk.
But he still has the messages, right? Or were those just saved?
Those were just saved, and he told me, here's this. I'm going to delete them, but I did ask him. I mean, he'll be honest with me, and he'll let me go through the phone.
Well, we want to go through the phone. That's the thing. We don't want anyone else going through the phone and deleting stuff, or you know what I mean. Like,
right.
We want to be the ones that do that, so it doesn't look sketchy on anyone else's part.
Well, yeah, and he'll be honest with me, because I really wasn't in that much contact with them. That I think the whole thing with Chris was that he kind of wanted to shove my face in something that my name was tied to someone.
So I'm not sure of your current relationship between Damien, and I don't know, we don't know. You and I, we don't know really what Damien's going to do or think, or we don't really know how he feels about you when you're not in front of him, and we don't know what his plans are of exposing you because he's pissed and he really misses you and he's hurting. We don't know any of that. So what's the best way to get that phone as soon as possible into our hands? Did you really text your brother tonight and ask him for Damien?
Yeah.
Did he get back with a phone number?
He got back with me. He told me there was no phone number, but I know, and I know that David didn't go in and erase every single outgoing call. Just for me knowing my brother, but he's said, I have no idea what number his is. He said, I got my phone back right afterward.
Okay.
I said, how would I know which number is his?
All right. Well, can you do 2 things for us? 1, try to get that number and give it to Tammy. And 2, please do not influence Damien deleting stuff. It's going to be a very big problem for you when we find out later that you texted him and said, burn the phone. Okay. Do you understand how that...
Actually, don't even mention the phone, and then when we call him, we can just say we want to talk to him, and then we can talk to him about the phone when we get there, so that avoids any of the stuff he's going to think about before we get there.
Yeah.
So can you do that and not mention that? Just give me his phone number.
Yeah.
I don't even see there's really any reason you talk to Damien. Besides, because you have a mutual friend, you can get his number and not actually have to talk to him and say anything at all.
Yeah.
Okay?
But yeah, the words he used with me is that he upgraded and switched to straight talk. And I don't know if old Verizon phones can switch over to
Some of them
straight
can.
talk, but I assume they can.
Most of the newer ones can. I don't know so much about the older ones.
So
one more question about the court case in Wyoming. Are you sure those are the names of the people that were arrested?
with Harvey, no. I I don't know that that's how he spells his last name, but I'm assuming.
Okay, what year would this have been?
What is this why does this pertain to anything?
Because there's people that are trying to verify your statements.
Oh.
And this is all about making sure that we're telling the truth all the time. So we just want to be able to verify, yep, he was a witness in this case, that he testified against these people, they're in prison, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Robert Martinez, I know. Yeah, that's his name. But with Harvey.
And what year was this?
Trying to do that out, but that was 2009 or 10.
That's when the adjudication, the prosecution, the sentencing, all that happened.
Yeah.
And it really did happen in Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
And it really did happen, and you were a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And you testified? Did you testify at court? In a trial, or?
No, I with the videos and stuff, I testified privately.
Okay.
They promised me that they would keep my name out of the media, and they did, because I was the only one that wasn't a minor victim.
How old was, that's a pretty common name. Did you say Robert Martinez? Like, how old was he?
I was 34 when I was 13. I'm 28 now. So 49.
And what town was that he was living in when this happened?
I think he was homeless. He was bouncing back and forth from Shannan and Casper.
But what, jurisdiction prosecuted it?
I think Larimer County, or Natrona County was the one that brought it up, but most of the charges were in Laramie County. And that's where he ended up getting prosecuted because, from what I know, he's in Torrington now.
He's in Torrington, what?
The prison.
The prison in Torrington?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does he look like?
Spanish, about 5'9". When I saw him, his hairline comes back real far, but he still grows it out up here. Still got really dark brown hair, and he's got a goatee.
How was his weight?
He's probably like 5'9", 190, 180.
So a little bit thicker. What were his tattoos?
He had Sereno, his shoulder blades, spider webs, skulls. He was covered.
Okay.
Have you seen him on an inmate locator thing? Like, you ever looked him up?
No, I never had to. I never wanted to see him after that.
And Harvey may have a different last name, is that what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
How old was Harvey?
Harvey was 6 years older than Rob. So, he would have been 55, I think.
Now. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you try and give me that number?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do
For Damien
that.
tonight?
Can you get it in the next few minutes if we take another break?
You see if you can make some phone calls? You can call your brother and just kind of walk him through how you find that out.
However you do it. Just take the next few minutes and try.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, he's just, some days are better than others with him too.
Okay.
So.
Or other people. I mean, you mentioned other people too, so someone knows that number.
Right.
Do you need something?
Oh, I was just gonna tell them that, let John and Tammy know that my phone won't go through. They were waiting for me to make some phone calls, but
Okay.
in this building, it just automatically says call fails and stuff.
It is a box. You want to walk outside with me? We can go outside and get some fresh air, and you can try there. That way we can get outside the concrete and steel box if you want for a minute, and let you make those calls. And,
That would be cool.
I'm not sure. We have some limited reading materials if you need something, or
Oh no, I'm
kind of like
good.
the doctor's office, right? Are you good, Trent?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
No
We're
worries.
going to crack this.
Okay.
And you know, right, we can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you need something, we'll see you come down, but we can't have you wandering around the building.
Okay.
This makes people nervous for some reason. I don't.
I can imagine.
No,
Yeah, sheriff.
And you get lost. You take the elevator to the basement, and some people never come back. So.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Hang tight, buddy. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You find it?
I got a hold of my brother, but he said he wouldn't know which number it is because, like I said, he's got that schizoaffective disorder, and I could tell he just took his antipsychotic meds. I could barely really understand. So he took his meds and was getting ready to go to bed.
Okay.
But
So,
I told him that
do you live with him?
if anything, my brother.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he lives with my parents, and my parents are at.
Oh, in Arizona? Or
They live in. That's where they bought their new house, but they're currently back at the house in Wyoming.
in
That's the
Castle.
house that I watch and go back to. They were gone from Christmas until like May of this year, so I kind of went back and watched the house, and they have 2 cats that they can't bring on the road without getting something from the vet and stuff, so.
Okay.
But my brother's there currently with them, because like I said, he's mentally ill and he has to stay with them, so.
Okay.
Um,
So, I think we're gonna let you go and see what you can find as far as Damien's phone number and that kind of stuff. If you could text me, call me, whatever.
okay.
Let me know what you find out with Damien. As far as the polygraph thing, is that something you'd be willing to do?
Possibly. I just.
What does possibly mean? I mean, people are normally like, yes, absolutely, or no, I'm not going to do that.
Questions about money being exchanged, stuff
Oh,
like
no,
that.
no. Sorry, my thing keeps making noise. No, it would just be about if you had a relationship with Chris. We would keep it to that.
Okay.
Okay?
And there are no surprise questions when you sit down for a polygraph. Whoever that's going to say, Trent, these are the questions I'm going to ask.
Word for word.
Nothing else. So there's no surprises.
Okay.
Yeah. So if that's something you're willing to do, we could at least vet this out and just be like, he told us all this stuff and he passed the polygraph. It's kind of like a double whammy for us, you know, and we're like, we can trust this guy.
Yeah.
So it's something that's totally up to you. It's voluntary.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure he won't. I'm sure he won't advise me against it, but I'd like to talk to like a lawyer and everything at this point.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to do any of that.
Yeah. But my lawyer. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't advise me against it or anything, but my mom just texted me and just said I talked to Hamilton and
That's a lawyer?
he advised you to call him because he represented me in Wyoming this last summer. They tried to get me with a DUI for my medication, and then
I did see that on your record.
I hired him, and then we beat it, so.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's as you walk away tonight, you're going to think, oh, I wonder why they asked that, why they didn't ask this. I wish I would have remembered this. I wish I would have told them that. So all that's going to come into your head tonight. So just write it all down, and we might talk to you 10 more times. We might talk to you 2 more times, and might never see us again. So write it all down.
When I saw that Chris's attorney or whatever made no comment, I almost kind of figured that he at least told you guys something about the money being exchanged.
Yeah.
Something that he doesn't want out there.
No. I think you probably read it in my eyes, huh?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I know they told you something, and that's why I mean, I wasn't trying to lie to you guys out of anything malicious, but I just don't want to. I don't even want
You're submitting
YouTube.
some of those facts.
Yeah, I don't even want YouTube looking at me like, oh, this is an ALS quarter.
We don't judge people. I'm telling you, we talk to every kind of person all day long, so it doesn't honestly matter to us at all. So.
Yeah, and I can understand that too from a nursing perspective. You kind of got to put all that shit aside.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, so I think they're going to show you the way out, and I think John's going to do that. Not Mike, whatever you called him before.
Yeah, the guy was looking at me and
Like,
it's just,
what's going on?
Yeah, one more time and then, yeah, no problem. Thank you.